Welcome to the West Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, if you are a woman and or a young woman trying to sort of find your place in the world, I think I've come to the right place at 619 Ridgely Avenue in West Annapolis. And we're here with Dr. Kim Palmiotto, who's invited us to check out Root to Bloom. Mm-hmm. Did I get that right?
You did. Root to Bloom. Root to Bloom is it.
Well, tell me about Root to Bloom. I mean, I was looking at your website, and again, that's Root to bloomannapolis.com, and T-O is spelled out, T-O. I'm assuming that root is birth and roots in your community, and then adult would be like your bloom. So, I mean, you're pretty much looking for sort of a spectrum of people or growth?
And there's a couple different meanings, I think, behind the name. That's one of them, because we do from girls, usually like late elementary to tween ages, all the way up through adult. I focus particularly on that mother-daughter relationship. I feel like that's this kind of area that a lot of moms and daughters get stuck in. And so sometimes coming together, finding ways to do activities together just helps with that. The other piece of this name came from the idea of kind of anchoring yourself in order to bloom. Because I think as a therapist, what I find with a lot of especially girls that are kind of moving into adolescence or early adulthood is they start to really question, who am I? What am I doing? They maybe need some coping strategies to help with things like anxiety or depression or any of those feelings that are coming up. Big feelings. And they've never really been taught how to anchor themselves and find who they are before they can actually move out and bloom into the world. So there's kind of a different few meanings behind it.
Well, I will say you talked about late elementary into the tween and up into adult age. But I tell you, it is tough to be a kid this year, not this year, but this time. I curse social media. I thank it every day for not being around when I was younger.
Me too.
It's like, whew, thank God there's no evidence.
I know.
And you talk about the relationship between mothers and daughters, and that is so, so strong. And I have seen, personally with people that I know or within my own family, just an uber tight bond. Mm-hmm. And others, typically when they get into that tween teen thing, is like, okay, I know it all.
Yeah.
You're persona non grata, mom.
Yeah.
Head on out. I've got my boyfriend who knows the world, knows everything in the world.
Yeah. Or friends, right? It's like my friends are everything. Mm-hmm.
So this is sort of a part-time counseling office and part-time really cool bonding place. Is that?
Yeah. I mean, the way my vision for this was because I'm a school psychologist, not therapist. So I do therapy with individual clients or families. But the purpose of this was really to create more of, I kind of call it like a social, emotional, creative studio, right? So it's everything that we do is crafts or some kind of artistic creative endeavor with underlying social, emotional themes or education. So instead of just coming and doing, let's say, like crochet or making jewelry, everything that we do will have some kind of underlying supportive social emotional piece. So for example, one of the things that we have is called the fabric values bracelets. And so girls come in and they make these fabric bracelets with beads and fabric. But before we do that, we talk about like, well, what are your values in a friendship? Like, what are they? Starting girls to kind of think about those things that we just normally don't think about. And then we create the jewelry based on that information. So they'll make jewelry that has like honesty or loyalty or, things like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, and I'll just make assumptions that with the fabric bracelets, red may signify...
It could be whatever they want it to, yeah.
Loyalty or love and stability and...
Yeah. That's the cool part about it, right? The cool part about all of this is that it's individual for every girl. So for some girls, red might mean love. For some girls, red might mean angry. For some girls, it might mean who knows, right? So they get to come with their own authenticity and their own individuality, but they're leaving with something that's a little bit just more educational. But it's not shoved down their throat, right? And I think that's where the reason why I did this is, as an art therapist, I really truly believe that art it's a way to help us get to know ourselves. And it allows them to be able to come in doing something really fun and creative, but leaving with tools.
Well, you've got a lesson. I mean, I love when parents, if they do it right, the children come out of childhood mimicking the best behavior of parents and stuff like that. So I love when you come into a situation where you are learning something, but you don't know that you're learning.
Right.
There's no chalkboards, there's anything. And you talk about the fabric bracelet. I'm sitting here thinking that's got to be really powerful too. And I know we're speaking mostly of girls, but for anybody to maybe go to school and I'm having an issue. Okay, there's a bully, there's somebody that just hates me or I hate them or whatever it may be. And to look down and just see on my wrist that I've got this support of love, I've got empathy, I've got all of these great traits that are right here on my wrist.
Yep.
That are going to help me cope with whatever the issue is du jour.
100%. And also just reminders of, hey, kind of questioning for themselves. These are my values. Are they aligning with that person, right? Is this a person that I want in my friendship circle? So each of those, everything that we do is kind of surrounding that. And I really feel like girls are important to have here, but women also, right? Not just moms, but just women in general coming together. And a lot of us were not given the opportunity to walk through these processes. And some of us have to do it as adults. So,
absolutely. I mean, you talk about, is this somebody that I want to have in my friend circle? This is somebody that I can get along with. I mean, I didn't realize until I was late that life's too short to deal with jerks.
Right. Exactly.
And, for, decades I dealt with jerk. And, at this point I'm like, he's a jerk, man. I've got
no time for it. Yeah.
And it makes no sense. As a therapist, as a facilitator, I guess, for the art and the creative. And you're so right how art is just such a powerful way to release. I mean, with any emotions. I mean, okay, we can channel Taylor Swift. God forbid the guy that breaks up with her because there's a song that's going to be popular.
Exactly.
To do that, that goes there. But I mean, she can channel that anger and that angst into song. Certainly, artists that can turn around and do, channel any kind of emotion that's into it. I mean, art is just such an emotional thing, and it really does reach down into the core of pretty much every human. I mean, I was talking to a musician this morning that's playing at Ram's Head, and we were just talking about it. It's art, and this is in particular to music, is a great equalizer. And I imagine just like when they walk into a nightclub or something like that, they walk in to hear into Root to Bloom, that there are no men. Okay, fine. But all right. But there are no black or white or gay or straight or Jew or Christian, or there's none of these things that divide us as a whole body.
Yep. It's just you and authentic you.
And we're sharing an experience together.
Yeah.
With that. What are and I don't know if this is the right word, correct me if I'm wrong, but issues, and that was some air quotes that nobody can see. But I mean, what are we dealing with today? I mean, I know that there's a myriad of issues that I never had to deal with when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult, to come out whole without help. I mean, I was kind of left to my own. I liken it, school ended, I ran home, threw my books on the bed, got on my bike, and I'd see it in hours. And that's just not happening now in a figurative sense, in a literal sense either. What are the problem points that we're seeing in young girls and young adults and older or less young women?
I think that's a really good question. I think there's still things that are the same. I mean, I think that developmentally, we see girls work through adolescence, and you've got the friendship issues that are changing, and there's girl drama, and there's, identity issues and all of those things. The difference is that, gosh, I mean, I don't know, other than just saying it, social media and technology have impacted that in a totally different way than anyone, I think, would have ever expected. And I think from a mom's perspective, now, there are a few moms that maybe have been around since some of this have been going, but for the majority of us, I think we were not raised with any of this. So I think it's that whole piece of understanding that our daughter's experience is different than our experience, and it's the same at the same time, is really hard for us as adult women, as moms right now, to understand how do we approach this? How do you harness what's going on with social media? How do you control giving them social media? All of these things. But for girls, every single part of their life is in the spotlight all the time. I mean, if they have social media, they are never off, right?
It cracks me up. And I mean, I've got some adult friends that are on social media, and I'm like, girl, you've never looked like that.
Yeah.
Because they're all about the filters and everything else. And I think that, there's a firm based in Annapolis called, it'll come to me at some point, but they're natural social media. They don't allow filters. You can post as much or as little as you want, but it's like, okay, I just woke up. I got sleep in my eyes. I've got the droops. I haven't had my coffee, and all right, this is the day.
Yeah.
Which really sort of normalizes it, as opposed to, all the filters, and you're under such a mirror, under such a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
As we're going to pick on the girls today, but I mean, for perfection, you've got to look, beautiful, the clothes, and my own kids are like, oh no, don't use that picture. Use it, take another one.
Exactly. Well, and I think there's also just this, I mean, that there's an inherent sense of that for girls in our culture anyway, of, this beauty kind of standard that's been set for us. But now there's this other piece of that's, oh, well, you can now quote unquote meet that standard on social media by using these filters. And so it just skews so much. And so I think that piece of it, there are some really great things about social media too. And people always say, like, it's not all bad. No, you're right. It's not all bad. But I think it exaggerates some of the challenges, like the anxiety. I mean, this is year 26 of me being a therapist and a school psychologist. And I have seen in the past 10 to 15 years, this exponential increase in anxiety and depression in kids. And whether or not it's social media or it's something else, that piece of it is alarming to me. It's alarming. And so when I see girls come in here, first of all, I think a lot of them don't understand that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be authentic, because they don't know how to do that. And so allowing them to come into a space like this and be accepted for whoever they are, silly, crazy, loud, whatever it is, we're all just accepting. But then really kind of understanding that these are some tools that you can have if the big feelings start. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So those are kind of the things that I think anxiety is a huge one. I think the friendship issues, well, I think that will always be a thing, because just developmentally they're trying to.
Oh, sure, you get that.
Right?
And it's like, oh, well, you're friends with Mary. I don't want to be friends with you. Okay, fine.
That piece is a lot. But I also think that the social media piece complicates that for a lot of girls, because you cannot get away from it most of the time if you're all of your friends are involved.
Sure. And it's that web and that network and everything else. It's funny you talked about 10 to 15 years. I did the quick math in my head, because it was even numbers, and we're in a 15 and stuff like that. So that was 2000, when really Facebook sort of came into its own.
Yeah.
And then obviously followed by Instagram and Twitter and everything else. That's the TikToks and the Snapchats and everything else.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Root to Bloom. Okay. I mean, I'm looking at what I can only describe as two giant art tables.
Yes.
And if anybody's ever been into an elementary school, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But I mean, how does creativity play a role? I mean, obviously you said you've got a bonding thing with the mother and daughter when they come in and thing, but and being able to have a meaning there. I mean, were you an artist at heart, or a wannabe, or are you?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I actually, I guess I still am. I think you're always an artist, right? But my first go around at a career, I actually was accepted to the Academy of Art in San Francisco for a master's program.
Wow.
I know. I was going to do it. I started in it, and the competition just got me. Like, you have that, talk about that inner critic. That was my inner critic. Like, you can't do this. You're not good enough. And so I kind of backed away, and I loved psychology. And I found a program that was an art therapy master's program for marital and family therapy, and combined those two things that I really liked. And then that just kind of moved me into this art therapy eventually school psychology type of road. I did that for, not 2 decades, but always kind of had this artistic side to me, and always included art therapy in what I did therapeutically with people. And so when this opportunity presented itself, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, it just feels like I've anchored myself into my purpose now here with this.
Well, you really sort of created your own little niche. And
Yeah.
what I think is interesting is, and I do not have a creative bone in my body, but that wouldn't stop me from singing.
Right.
That wouldn't stop me from, trying to pluck strings on a guitar. I won't even use the word play. That, even if it gets into the, the visual arts or the, clay or whatever it may be, there is something inherently therapeutic about art. I mean, I can be, okay, I hope that cat doesn't walk in front of me because I'm going to kick it to the end of the house, stressed out coming in at the end of the day. But if I sit down there and just, maybe it's just humming some songs or, and that's not really practicing art, but it could be.
Oh, it is. I think it is. Yeah.
That it brings me down. It does it. And then when you're at a place of calmness and reflectivity, lack of a better word,
yeah,
I got to think you're more apt, more willing, more able to really work through whatever issues that you may have.
Totally agree. And I think one of the things I hear consistently from people when I say art is they think, well, I can't draw. I'm not an artist. I'm not artistic. I'm not creative. Every single person is creative and artistic in who they are. It's not the
may not be good. But
it's not the end product, right? Like, this is what I tell everybody all the time is like, when you're working on whatever, if you're doing something artistically, it's not the end product that counts. I think that we've been trained that it is, but the process of getting to that end product is the therapeutic part. That's where you just described it perfectly, right? Like you if you're humming the songs or you're creating a piece or whatever it is that you're doing, that is the process that gets you to the end. And so if something comes out in the end and it's not exactly what you expected, that's still pretty awesome because the process of getting there is what you were holding on to.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine from high school who works in DC, and she's a lifelong diplomat. She's also an outstanding painter, just absolutely phenomenal. As far as amateur painters goes, by far the best, hands down. I will fight you to death on this type thing. And I will say to her, Bonnie, I said, why don't you put these out into maybe see if you can get them into a gallery or whatnot? And she says, it's not what it's about.
Yep. Yeah. It's true. I have so many paintings at home, and I will never probably do that because every time I look at one of those, I think about that process that I went through with it. So that's the purpose of this, is to have people come in here and create something. I think I'm initially kind of rolling things out as under the arts and crafts guise, right? Because I think it's less threatening to a lot of people to feel like I can come in and make jewelry. I can come in and do something that is going to result in something that ends with me feeling good about it, right? But ultimately, if people can come in and just get messy and leave with something messy, you're going to find that you're leaving a little bit wholer. Is that a word?
You can make up words. It's great. Yes.
Then when you came in, right? Yeah, you're leaving with something super messy, but the messy is what fills the gaps. I don't know.
It's the message that you've got while creating it, and again, it's going to create that memory. It's going to create that sense of peace that you had. I mean,
Yeah.
I look at, maybe I'm finger painting, okay, and now I go home. I'm ready to kick the cat again, and I look under my fingernails and I see, oh, I got paint under my fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
it's experience,
and it does a reset there.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you hop out of bed in the morning and skip to work?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I think that
my kids, because they're running late for school, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the opportunity to just create in general lights me up. I love it, no matter what it is. But I think for me, with this particular venture that I'm on right now, the thing that gets me so excited to come here is knowing that I get to see girls and women walk in, experience something, and walk out with like a new skill or a new thought or a new idea that they're going to take with them they're going to take that with them and they're going to use it somehow. And they're going to be stronger because of it. And I know that sounds super cliche, but it really does, like, it ignites me to see that with girls. And I think that was one of the things I loved to do when I was in the schools as a school psychologist too. I was actually here in Anne Arundel County. And when I got to do the therapeutic groups with kids, it was more fulfilling than any of the testing or any of the meetings or anything else that I did, because those groups, when they left that room, I got to go see them use all these tools in the classrooms or with friends and it was just, oh gosh, it was just like so fulfilling. So just knowing that I get to share that with this next generation of women and girls is
well,
cool.
you've moved the needle.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just a little bit of time.
has a little bit of a time to figure it out there. How does it work when you work with Root to Bloom? I mean, is this a 10-week class, 10-week experience? Is this I'm feeling a little bit down, I need to go see Dr. Kim?
Yeah.
Well,
there's a couple of different ways. So, like since this is all new this summer, there's just a couple camps and they're just week long. So that's like half-day camps. But during the school year, there's a couple different options. There's like single classes where you come in just for a couple hours and do an activity, maybe learn a small skill. And then there's semester classes. So like one of them is called Nourish and Nurture, which is a cooking club that I'm going to do with girls. And they're going to come in and we're going to cook. We're going to learn a skill with cooking, but it's going to have some kind of theme with it. I'm pairing with Stitches of Kindness, which is a nonprofit, and she's coming in, and once a month it's just a free thing where you can drop in and you can help make some
knitting and crochet. Okay.
Yeah. So this month she's doing dog toys. So we'll come and I'm asking everyone to do it like a potluck style. So everyone will bring a dish. We'll sit down. We'll make some dog toys. We'll eat together. That kind of thing. And then like for the younger kids, I have the Big Feelings Lab, which is basically 7 to 9-year-olds coming in and just learning about their feelings, doing art around them and taking stuff. So it's kind of a myriad of different things.
I want to pull the curtain back a little bit. Before we started to record, we were talking about just anecdotally some people on Reddit and stuff saying how it was so difficult to find their space in the Annapolis area. And it just sort of dawned on me that you're coming in here, you're bringing a group of women together that don't, for the most part, know each other. I mean, somebody's from this neighborhood, somebody's from that neighborhood, somebody's black, somebody's white, whatever it may be. They're coming here, they're sharing that experience. And you're able now to form those new bonds and those new friendships. I'm not saying that that's your new bestie or anything like that, or the moms are going to be, best friends forever and all that kind of stuff. But that you can talk about the shared experience, certainly, but also their independent experiences. And it really has this tendency, I would think, to move that needle into building a much stronger community, larger community, not just the 8 or 10 people that may be here.
Yeah, that honestly is my larger scope hope with this is it was actually really cool because I had the open house last week and there were some moms and daughters that came from different places. The thing that they had in common was that they went to Thrive, and so gymnastics. And so they came here based on learning about it from there. But it was so cool to watch because some of the girls and the moms I knew, some I did not, and they all just sat around those tables and chatted and talked and found things in common. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is what I want. This is what I want to happen. And, I'm hoping that that's going to be how this continues to grow that way. So that all these people, moms and daughters, have pieces of connection outside of just their neighborhoods, right? So that we can make a larger community.
Well, we live in a world that is so divisive right now. I mean, on a global, nationally, even in the community and stuff like that. But when you really get down to it and look at it, okay, there's a lot more that binds us together than separates us.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, you mentioned that you were from San Diego originally, and I mean, I can't stand the West Coast. That's just me. But I mean, I think that we're kind of jiving. We're figuring out what it is. So I mean, there's so much more that can bind people together and find commonalities to make it a lot better of a community than it is to sit there and say, oh, you're a West Coast. Well, we're done here. I'm out. Which makes no sense whatsoever. And it doesn't take much to uncover that and find it.
It's very true. Very true.
It could be right here over the art table in a plate of lasagna.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I noticed on your website, again, it's root2bloomannapolis.com. It said, we're coming to Annapolis on July 1st. Where did you come from? I mean, I know you said San Diego, but you also said you've been here for quite a few years. I mean, is this brand new?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When we first moved here, I kind of did my traditional role of school psychologist and did some therapy on the side. I was actually, my therapy practice was in Parker Place, which is a medical practice for the last few years. But I always had this goal in the back of my head. I really wanted, like, ultimately, I mean, if I'm going to be big picture, lottery win type of thing, would love to have a full forest in the back and do some kind of like outdoor learning and all that stuff.
The zoning won't support it here in Annapolis.
This is just the small stepping stone to that. But yeah, this piece of having this artistic studio that also educates has always been something that I've wanted to do. So,
do you miss being in the schools?
Yeah, I miss a lot. I miss parts of it. I miss the people. I miss seeing the kids every day. I miss being able to help families that I normally probably wouldn't be able to help. That part of it I do really miss. Yeah.
Well, I think you're helping a little bit, as opposed to a one-on-one with and I'm I think in a school situation, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you probably see people are interacting with you in a school situation because there's a problem.
Yeah.
As opposed to here, it's a little bit different. I mean, there may be some problems out there in the ethos, but we're coming here to form a bond.
Yeah.
Whether it be with a daughter and a mother, or whether it be a daughter with another daughter, or everything else like that.
I think that's true, and I actually hadn't thought about it like that, but I think that's probably true. That's probably why I love doing the groups in the schools so much too.
Right. Well, I do love your logo. I mean, you've got the roots of bloom. You've got tree roots that are down there on the bottom. And then, as the young lady is growing up, she's reaching up to the stars, and absolutely everything is available to them. And I know that sounds very trite and very cliche, but I am a firm believer that, you put your mind to it. Anything is possible. And I've seen some outstanding evidence of that.
Agreed.
You just, not saying this is going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you on a silver plate, but if you want it bad enough, it will work for you. As a therapist, as a art therapist, as a person who has been in the schools for 25 years, as we start to wrap up, is there any advice that you can give to teen girls or, the young adult girls, just to help them cope? I mean, first advice would be to come check out Root to Bloom, but but beyond that, I mean, I've always, when I had kids, somebody told me, look, pick your battles, ask yourself if it's going to matter in 6 months, then fight about it. If it's not, so if the kids run around with toilet paper in the house, that's not worth it. But if they're running around with scissors and knives, we'll have a fight.
Right.
Is there anything that you've seen in your practice that, I mean, we've talked about all the pressures and stuff with social media, that you might just be able to plant a seed in a young woman's mind to say, hey.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a couple of things that come to mind. I think the first one is to, I always want girls to understand that if they can identify what's important to them, what their values are, what they truly value in their life and the people around them, that is your anchor. That's what you work from. So if there are problems that are coming up in your life, then you go back to that list of like, what is really important to me and how does this person or this situation fit into that? And if it doesn't, being okay with letting it go. I think number one. Number two is I will die on the hill talking about understanding your own body and brain and how to utilize tools to help you manage it. So I think that, I hear a lot, girls will say like, don't tell me to do deep breathing. I don't like deep breathing, right? And I get that. But if you understand why people say to do that and learn tools in order to manage some of those really big feelings that come up. The earlier you learn that, the better off you're going to be moving through life, because those are the two things together: understanding your own values and what your core is, and then understanding how to manage all the things that are coming up with you emotionally. They're foundations. And if you have those, you're going to be able to manage almost anything.
And as far as the deep breathing goes, I think probably part of the problem would be like you telling me to deep breathe as opposed to the actual breaths themselves.
Exactly.
Don't you tell me what to do. I'll sit here until I turn blue and I'll show you.
So true.
Depending on what age it is. But it's, Dr. Palmiotto, I want to thank you so much for not so much having me here, but I do want to thank you for that, but for bringing this resource to the young and I wrote this down here, and the older than young, as the political correct term.
Yes.
But women that are out here in our community. And, this is not despite the fact that there's a couch here, this is not a therapist office.
Right.
This looks like a really fun place to be. Everything that these young girls and young women, and even adult women are going through today, just, we are busier than we've ever been. We're being asked to do more with less in work and in school. I used to go to school in the morning until 3:30 or 4 in the afternoon. That day has shortened up, and they've compressed more classes into it. The pressure is unreal. And this seems to be a good little bit of a relief valve.
Yeah, I hope so. I really appreciate you highlighting it, because I really want to be a source of help for the community. So I really appreciate it too.
Well, it is in West Annapolis, not the cozy little downtown West Annapolis. It's out on the other side of the bridge. It's on Ridgely Avenue. It is at 619 Ridgely Avenue, and it's right in that section where you've got all the medical offices, the buildings there, but it's not a medical office. It's a really cute little house. If you're heading out toward Bestgate Road, it's on the left.
Yes.
Driveway's a little bit hard to find. I overshot it, but it's...
the parking situation is not ideal, but it works.
But it's not downtown Annapolis, so that's good.
That's true.
RootToBloomAnnapolis.com is the website. You want to go check it out. You can check out the different classes, the different programs that they have here. Dr. Kim is just one of the more welcoming people that you're probably ever going to meet. And I do recommend everybody that come discover that relationship that you maybe are losing with your daughter, or to, just strengthen the one that you do have. I think probably goes a long way to it. But thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.